So I was just thinking about how many ways you can read over the summer. And I wanted to start out to tell you, well, this is Coffee Talk with Sarah Bruschi, and you can reach me at www.saraheducator.com. And I put this sun on here because I am in such a good mood. I've had only part of my coffee that you see there that I drew, and I feel great. So I guess it's just one of those days where I'm super, super happy. And I have a few reasons why. One is we had a nice conversation. Well, we had a great yesterday. My son played in the Rossmore, like at Rossmore, and we'd never been there before. And it was so cute. It was just like that scene in Dirty Dancing where you go like, don't put baby in a corner. Like nobody puts baby in a corner. That place, there's a community center is where we were, had great acoustics, they said. Anyway, looks exactly like that scene in the movie where they do all the performances, or that like building. So that was adorable. I love stuff like that. It's weird. And I saw a student that I knew who's now graduated from college, and it was just by chance, and she's just doing great, and I was so excited. She's just adorable. And then I had a nice chat with like a young man who was in there who was helping people, and it was, just a great night. So, and yesterday my son got braces, and I think one of the happy things that I just felt like as I came into my apartment today was, I remember when I thought, I can't imagine them being 6 months old and I'll be alive. Like, I think I will probably be dead before they're 6 months old. I know that sounds like horrible, right? But I had that thought for an extended period of time. I got really sick when they were born. And so I just thought, I may not see them when they're 6 months old. And 6 months is such a cute age. I just had this like in my head that 6 months, because they really are. Kids are cute at 6 months old. They're a little less alien-like than when they're born. And they're just so chubby and round and cute. And when I made it to 6 months old, I was like, wow, I did it. I got here. I made it. And I felt so happy because I really have wanted children since I was so young, and I love kids, and it just seems so neat to be a mom, and it absolutely is. And every day, like I made this statement, every day that I have my kids, it's like my love for them gets bigger, even though I feel like there's no way it possibly can. Every day there's something more, because we just add on all these different reasons why I love them. It's like minute by minute, second by second, there's something else that I'm just like, that was another moment of joy that I got. So anyway, it's like, oh, isn't that so sweet? And then today, it's that feeling again, because I thought I would never have my kids at, teenage years where they have braces. Braces are like a rite of passage. I remember wanting them so badly that I took aluminum foil and squeezed it up, like rolled it, and I made it really tiny and thin, and I made 2 of them, and I put one across the top of my teeth and one across the bottom of my teeth, and I walked around like that. Like you can imagine in the 1980s, I can't remember, I was probably like 10 years old girl, like walking around the neighborhood with aluminum foil in her mouth and across her teeth. I was a bit of a unique child, I'll say. So yeah, my walking up my steps as I have that moment to just like, how's life going? Let's do a check-in. I guess that's what I do when I walk upstairs. I have a moment without something else going on besides just walking up the stairs. I do that like mental and physical check-in. And my mental check-in, my physical one was actually pretty good too. I was like, oh, I'm feeling good. Like, I know I'm 45. I'm wearing a tank top today, which is like not a great idea if you're 45 years old and a woman, because your arms usually are like, you do the extra wave with your lower, like upper arm, I guess it is, when you're waving and stuff like that. And it just looks like cellulite on the back of your arm, stuff like that. But you know what? Like, it is what it is, and I don't think mine are so bad, and my legs look good still, my butt's kind of cute, so I was like, oh yeah, I'm going. So anyway, that's how I was feeling physically, and then mentally I just went like, this is fabulous. I am doing okay. I'm comfortable. I'm like living the American dream. No, I don't think. Maybe not. But I feel like I'm doing very well. Things are going. I have my used car from many, many years ago. I'm living according to my values. I think that was like the big thing. Like my values are fairly in line with how I am behaving and doing my life. And so I feel good about that. And my kids are too. And it was like, wow, I reached that rite of passage of braces, and I was able to do that for them, and we're getting by, and we're doing what we need to do to be good people in the world and all that jazz. So that's really all my commentary just on that sun right there, is how I feel. And it's sunny outside, and I'm living in California. I'm sure people would be like, way to go, lady, you're doing all right. And other people would be like, why don't you have the view of Tahiti out your window? You're always somewhere in that gray area, but I'm feeling pretty good. Then we had a nice conversation in the car, which I can't remember all the pieces to, but there were just fun little moments. Oh, I will say one though. My son said, and this makes me so proud, he said, what's funny, Mom, is that my hardest classes are core and math and music. And they're the 3 classes that I love the most. And I was like, yes, that is so cool. He's like, isn't that the weirdest thing? It's like they're hard and I love them. They're my favorites. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is what it's all about, right? We challenge ourselves, we set high expectations, we do quality work. When we meet our expectations, we do well. It feels so good if those are high expectations and high quality pieces of learning, skills that we are getting out of this. And if we're giving back too, like it feels so nice. He went last night and did that concert performance at Rossmore. He did that because he's in music, because he's been reaching high to pass the different musical tests that they give. I have no idea. Music is not my area of expertise, but it's becoming his. And that is so cool. So I feel wonderful about that. So what is our topic today? How many ways can you read? This summer is what I'm thinking of. And this is really for me. I was writing this because I want to think about this. So we're going to have our day structured a bit like this. We definitely will have some pool time. We will have some friends time. We will have some library time. What else are we going to do? We're going to have to do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I have to work a bit, so I will have some work for me, and that means maybe some work for them. The boys will have some academic time, and then we will have, and I mean academic, there will be math, specifically there will be English, and that's where our reading is going to come in too. And I wonder if there will be music as well, as my son said. I don't think we're going to do science over this summer. We'll probably have art. I do love to do Art for Kids Hub, and I also like to do, I like to make a Google Classroom in which I put it's kind of like I do 1 skill a day for math and 1 skill a day for English. I do 1 biography per day for art, and then I put something like I'll find 2 things on YouTube. One will be a biography of an artist, and then the second one will be how to do a piece of like a demonstration of maybe like a 5, each are like 5 to 10 minutes long, 5 if I can find something, because I like them nice and short so that we can just do something. And it would teach you how to do art in the style of that artist, taken very much from Elpi art, because I think they do a very nice job at that. I've volunteered several times for Elpi art at the kids' elementary school, and it was really fun. I found it informative. There's always something to talk about, something to learn when you're looking at an artist's life and an artist's work. And so both of those are the elements inside my Google Classroom for art. So if you want to sign up for art, you can do that this summer. Propose a price for me too, because honestly, art is like, Not something that I get a lot of call for, so you don't have to pay like my full price for it. I could just like give you my Google Classroom access and you could look at it. But know that also I put things in there that if it's art, like beware that I don't have an issue with, the nudity of art. I'm not going to put anything like my best word for that is ewy. I'm not going to put anything ewy into my art Google Classroom. Nothing that's ewy to me. So, but it might be ewy to you. I don't know. You would have to like gauge that for yourself. So that's is that called a disclosure? That's I'm giving you that information. That's the caution for my art Google Classroom. But I think it's lovely. I've done other ones. I found an artist who is this woman who nobody seemed to have talked about, but she was in the 70s. She was doing beautiful works, and I love it. It's so funny. It was, I think, centered around, it was foods, and I have this real love for the art of foods. I'll do a coffee talk on my love of like a unique look that I have at artwork it's not really art to other people, but if you walk into like a convenience store and you look at all the colors of those snack foods, I have a love for that from other countries. So I can look at it in the United States and appreciate it as well, but it's if it looks unusual to me, the names, the drawings, the funny marketing that's on there, like bimbo bread, I find that to be both art and hilarious. Like, I guess it's what does it invoke in you? And it's just a wonderful feeling for me to look at convenience store snacks. If you just took a picture of that to me is like fantastic art. I would put that on my walls. I love looking at that when I'm at a store. So art is interesting, right? It's something to really you need to do it, just like you have math or English or music. So well-rounded people is what we want to put out here into the world, and happy people, and art is a way to definitely like increase our happiness, especially because we learn about those other people. We don't have to look at just the people that we see right in front of us, where it's just going to work and the 9 to 5. There are people who aren't living like that, and they have, I think artist means somebody who is creating, maybe connecting in a way that other people haven't seen before. Connects one idea or one object or something, an item, to another item in a way that people haven't seen before. So that's great. Okay, so now, again, let's get back to how many ways can you read? All right, I'm going to get rid of this, and we're going to talk about ways to read. So I need to think about this for myself, and that's why I made my coffee talk about it. Number 1, audiobooks. So we could do that. I think that we also need to think about hard copy. We also need to think about, we have like Kindle type things, but it's not called Kindle. Ours is called Libby. We'll use the Libby app. That's still audiobooks for most of what I'm talking about, but let's see. But we don't, it doesn't need to be those. Can be flip books too. Ooh, Spanish would be fun ways to read. French, depending on how we're doing with that, because my son might take French 1 next year, so it would be good to do a little highlighting of what are super simple French books, super simple French on the page items. And let's see, audiobooks. How am I not thinking of more ways to read? You could read at the pool. You could read with your friends. You could read at the library. You can read with breakfast, probably an audiobook. You could read at lunch with an audiobook, dinner with an audiobook. If I am working, they could read, you could do an audiobook with the hard copy. You could do magazines. What else could we do that's reading? We can do comics. We can do, what's the other kind that they call graphic novels? I'm not a fan of graphic novels. Not for other people, I mean for myself. I don't like them. I think, how else can we read? We can read and then buy nothing. So like read, oops, I don't know why I switched to capitals all of a sudden. Read and give, like we can do the library's reading, what is it called? Reading contests. So there's a reading contest at the library and there's a reading for school contest. Library. We can do a contest for school. We can put books in the bathroom. I know, that's always my fun one. We need we need some kind of containers for those. And then what else can we do with reading? Where am I going to have them read where they'll just be like, I love it? Timing is going to be a big thing. So after swimming or something, then we want to read so that it may be an audiobook or something, because we'll be relaxing and we'll have that ability to like focus. Read and answer questions. That could be good. Read and respond. Maybe we could do read aloud. I didn't put that yet. Oh my gosh, that's one that I think is super important. I'm going to underline it. We definitely need to have like read alouds. And it could be me to them to me, boys to me. What else can we do? We could read on the terrace. That's kind of a special place to read. We have a terrace now, and that's kind of fun. I'm afraid of heights, so it's like I'll squish myself way in the back. We could read it like a picnic read. I don't like that idea. Too cold. Every time I'm on a picnic or at the beach or something, and somebody goes, oh, let's have food, or let's sit and do... No, I'd rather be moving if I'm outside because it keeps me warm. The minute I sit down, I'm like a frozen little popsicle. And it's just not fun. And nobody wants to read like that. Nobody wants to like eat like that. I'd rather eat indoors and there's no bugs, there's no stuff getting in my food. Yeah. Although it's kind of nice when you're like, okay, let's say I'm like at schools. So let's say we can go to the middle school. I should probably capitalize that one. We could go to the middle school and read. That's kind of fun though. I could do like an outdoor there. It's not so bad because you have buildings like blocking things. You have actual benches. You're up off the ground. That kind of, I think I have issues with eating on the ground and reading on the ground. It would be like if I'm on a bench or something, this is fine. But people are like, oh, it's so relaxing. Let me lay in the grass. Or is it lie in the grass? Whatever. Be in the grass and let me read or be in the grass and have a picnic. And I'm like, absolutely not. No, it's like grass is itchy. No, thank you. Yeah. What else? So middle school, high school. There's different high schools around here. We could go to like Miramani. We could go to Camp Alindo. We could go to Acalanes and check those out and just kind of sit around. Ooh, chicken reading. But see, that's that outdoor thing. But there are places where you could go and read. They used to have that. You could go into the church and there was this little building and you could read inside it. And it was for kids. It was so cute. And they had like a basket of it. It's up at the church at St. Perpetua. But I don't think you can get in there anymore. I think they lock it now. But they must have had some kind of like issues with people coming in and doing something. But it was a cute little hut, and I know things like that must exist somewhere else. Oh, little libraries. So little libraries. We could go get some books purposefully from there and switch them out and read those. What else? Ooh, cookbooks. And other themes of books could be like biking books or plant books or dog books or school, issues books or emotional things books, yoga books. I have no idea. Computer books. We could definitely, I need to do more on how to, learning technology books would be awesome. So make this purposeful, How many different ways can I read? Can you read at an A's game? I don't think so. So let's condense this and say, what could my schedule actually look like? So let's get rid of all this messiness, brainstorming. And you think of your brainstorms, how would you like, and what did I miss? Because when you're talking in front of other people, which I guess I sort of am and sort of not right now, because I hope that, I hope somebody's listening to this, but right now I'm just sort of sitting in my living room talking to myself. And, but it feels like I'm talking to somebody else. So I think that your brain, your IQ level goes down like several points when you're talking in front of a group. So, let's see, what do I want to do now? So I would say this is our schedule. We have, I know that 6 a.m. I looked up that's pretty much when the sunrise will happen. So 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it's going to set around like 8:30 or something. So I figured 9:30 is when it's pretty dark out there. And then 10 is when you should pretty much be going to sleep there. Yeah. But I still think at 10 it might be something. I think that what we are going to do, we're going to have between, say, 3, maybe 2 even, and 9. This is when I sometimes work. So I have to have some days where that's the case and then other days where it's not. 6. What am I doing at 6? I can get up. I really also, how many ways can you read? You probably should write too. So, because you can read your own things. Haha. So, journal. You need a journal. When would the boys journal? I really don't know. But 8 or 9 is breakfast. Let's say breakfast here. And let's say lunch is at like noon or 1. Like lunch maybe here. I want to do library at a certain time too, but I also wanted to do like swim early, and I want to do a swim at some time later in the afternoon so that I'm not getting too much sun. Swim, I don't know, dinner, right? And then here is just such a prime time. So before here to here, those little squiggles from 10 to like, wait, did I just do 10 to 9? 10 to 8 is when the library is open. So that's the 7 o'clock hour. So I think that this would be something for you. I'm taking my time with this too. I think that it's worth you taking the time right now. I think we're hitting at most half an hour on this coffee talk. And half an hour is a good amount of time to sit here and think about when are you going to read, and in how many different ways are you going to do that? How are you going to pack in as much literacy as you can into your summer in a very comfortable way? You know who I love to imagine myself being? 2 people, well, a few people. Let's say, Joyce Maynard, for getting up so early in the morning and having so much energy and writing. And she's a fantastic writer who doesn't really need to read a ton in order to write. She is more of like the expressive person and the getting up early person. For me, that's how I'm looking at it. And then there's Stephen King, and he is the person who has books everywhere. And oh yeah, let's put a little bit of frightening in there. So, because it'll be fun. Just a little bit. I don't like super scary stuff. So I'm talking about not reading Stephen King with my children at this age. I'm not ready for that. They're not ready for that. That's not for us. It could be for you. It's not for us. But some of these like goosebumps things, oh my gosh, we love them. So that kind of level of scary is great. So putting in some of that more mature themes, things that they're just now ready for. We want to do some Harry Potter. So, read and then watch movies on it. Read with the movies. Oh, I need to look that up as a whole topic on itself. I'm going to go Google that. Books that have movies made from them that are great for kids going into middle school and high school. That would be awesome. But Stephen King has books everywhere. So he is my go-to guy for ideas about that. And he's also a person who reads out loud to his kids and has his kids read out loud to him. I would love to live with Stephen King, except he would freak me out with the things that he says I don't like violence or gore, that kind of stuff. He has some of that, but so much of what he has is not violent or gore things, and it is just amazing writing. and reading those things to each other and appreciating story. I love that. So we're going to appreciate story in our house. And the other person I love is David Sedaris, and I envision him in more of the journaling ways. We want to keep a tiny little notebook like he does in our pockets so that we have the ability to just write down something as we see it. If we see we observe something in the world and have a social commentary on it, we want to be able to just write that down right away. That's very David Sedaris. Journaling is very David Sedaris. He journals every day. What else is very David Sedaris? He reads books. He reads humor books. Oh, I didn't even mention that I was going to do, besides frightening, humor is my favorite right now. Nonfiction humor is my genre of interest and love. What would be Sedaris like as well? Oh, he just appreciates all kinds of, he's a very high quality person. Oh, he walks a lot. So he walks and reads and thinks and reads. So I do that right now a ton. And I think that would just be fabulous. So we should also put in that we're going to be walking a lot. But that, I don't think for us is going to work with reading so much because we end up talking to each other. And I think that's in the balance beneficial for us to spend that time when we walk, talking to each other, and just like doing and planning. Maybe we'll walk to the library because it's not far. So I hope this was helpful. This is just my brainstorm. This is how things are going. It's going well in terms of happiness for how things are going at the moment. Planning is a lot of fun. I want to think specifically about this summer. How many different ways can you read out there, you guys? Because we're planning that as well. Think of your people that you're the most into. How do you like to spend your summer? In what ways are you going to do it? How do you navigate around the work you have to do and the education that you give your kids? And how do you have movies and things that you want to read? Are you going to do Harry Potter and then the visits? You could do a visit to Legoland or Universal. Whatever works after your reading, you could then highlight it. We did Chabot, where I had a moon theme for a while. Oh, you could do themes. We had a moon theme when the kids were little. I made it. And I also did a candy theme. And the moon theme, I remember taking them afterwards to Chabot, and we had a great time because they had a lot of moon exhibit things there that were awesome. You could do animals and then go to the zoo. You could do an aquarium, go to the aquarium. I'll have to think about that. We've got Lindsay Wildlife Experience here, and they're fabulous. So that would be a fun one. Do owls or something and then go see them, or another special animal that they have there would be really fun. So these are the things. Also, remember your foreign languages. So we can do reading in Spanish, reading in French, and we are also going to go traveling. So reading up on the people and the culture of the places that you're traveling to, or the place you just traveled from, or you just traveled to. So that could be really cool. Or also, I have another idea too for reading about things to fix. Can you fix a toaster? Do you know how a car works? Do you know how a ceiling fan works? I don't know, just whatever. Or like I said about technology things, those are huge. How does C+ work, C++ versus Python? I have no idea. Those aren't my areas of expertise, so those would be kind of fun to learn something about, at least even as a beginner. How do you build something? Maybe like a specific type of Lego, or building itself, or an actual, I don't know. What do you have to build? A table? You could build a table, chairs. The things they do at Stanley are pretty cool for their workshop, like their, it looks like wood shop, is that what it's called? How many different ways can you read? I've sort of lingered on and on, so I hope that what you're doing is writing down a list of your brainstorm. I hope that what you're doing is writing a schedule and then looking at that schedule and figuring out, if breakfast is here, how am I going to put literacy? Am I going to have the kids reading aloud at that time? Am I going to read aloud to them at that time? Because they're kind of stuck, right? They're sitting there, their mouth is full. They can't be like making a ton of noise as they're eating. It's a great time for me to read to them, maybe, if I'm not eating breakfast at the same time. So think on things like that, where you can put it. Also, another idea for you. I know, I've just got all kinds of thoughts today, right? That's why I'm putting them out here. The other thing you could do is put up, I've done this a bunch of times, think of sneaky reading, okay? So I had this board that went like this. I don't know, it was kind of like that. I just totally drew that all kinds of wrong. But anyway, I'm just going to say, down one side of it, I put math problems. There. A little more advanced than that one, but I put a bunch of math problems over here, and like a word problem there, and then over here you could put a quote, or you could put something, art person of the day. So it gives them their schedule visually, and it also gives a bit of information, and you'd be surprised how much you learn if you just do one, like a math puzzle per day. I like doing the Wordle, but it's kind of pointless. But you could do something like a Wordle or a hangman or something like that on there. And you can add art, you can add your quote, so every day you're getting a little bit of reading in here. Sneak it in, you guys. Sneak in the reading. Sneak it in for yourself, too. We're just big kids, right? So that's it. All right, thanks so much. Have a great day. And please subscribe, and go to saraeducator.com for my short lessons and my master classes. And they are more succinct and focused on a certain item that you might want to learn, that your kids really want to learn, because it's for elementary, middle, and high school. Check out those masterclass videos. Check out my website. I would be happy to help you guys this summer with more ideas or actual working on grammar, spelling, and punctuation for the kids. They need it, you guys. They need it. All right, have a wonderful day. Bye.